Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Rez Hockey. This is number 105. Yeah, thanks for joining us. My name is Trev, and with me, as always, is Mr. Kingdom of Sweden since 1921, which he's wearing a toque. Bush, what's up, Bush?
Not much. I got lots to talk about and some good stuff and some bad stuff, as always. I can't wait to get started. Otherwise, I am considering selling my plow for my quad.
Why you don't like plowing? Way to start off this.
You couldn't resist
I
that.
know I couldn't resist. Way to start off the show with a comment like that. How come
But I'll
you?
probably, hopefully, I'll need it next year because there's no
Oh yeah,
snow.
there's no snow, right?
I know. There's no snow. Like
And
I
it's
used to,
melting. It's been plus weather
been plus weather
all
here.
yeah, but
It was misting today, like
yeah, it
misting,
was
like for like,
raining
yeah.
here today too. So
Oh,
as you some of you know and some of you don't, I
oh.
moved, so I don't live down the street from Bush no
Up,
more. So
yeah,
I
up the
don't live
street.
up the street. Or yeah, Bush doesn't live down the street from me no more. So yeah, I moved to a different community, so I don't get to see his mug every day. Only when I go to town and I drive by his work and I get a
Yeah.
little sad wave. Goodbye, my love. Like on Dumb and Dumber there when at the airport.
Yeah.
So, um, hey, cool thing is you're wearing a hat that you got on your trip when you went to Sweden, and I'm
Yeah.
wearing a hat that I got when I went to Mexico. This is like
Oh,
their pro baseball team.
oh, cool.
And when I bought it, I like when I went to Mexico, I was really confused about the pesos conversion to Canadian dollar. So I paid, I don't know, like 1,000 something pesos, and I did a conversion on my phone after I bought the hat. It was like 100 Canadian for this stupid hat. I was like,
Wow.
shit, should I go return this hat? But yeah, it's a nice hat though. It's not like an everyday hat. You can go to Lids and
No.
buy it, right? So
Yeah.
right on. Our guest for this week for episode 105, he is from Fraser Lake, British Columbia. His home res is Nadleh Whut'en First Nation. I know I butchered that. I'll ask him later. This guy's pretty interesting. He was on Big Brother season 7 or Big Brother Canada 7.
Nadleh.
He's
Whut'en?
a musician,
Not
former pro
Nadleh, yeah.
goalie. Our guest for this week is Damien Ketlo,
Nadleh Whut'en?
Ketlo.
Whut'en? Whut'en?
Nadleh
Nadleh.
Whut'en.
Nadleh or Whut'en? Whut'en.
Nadleh
Nadleh
Whut'en
Whut'en.
First
Yeah.
Nation. Whut'en. Whut'en?
What is it?
What?
Well, you know what I'm thinking? I remember our guest Tyson Watney.
Yeah.
Would the pronunciation be the same? Like Nudley
Whatney. What?
what?
Whut'en? I don't know.
I,
We butchered it. We
yeah.
so yeah, Damien, he was recommended by episode 4 and episode 70 guest, Mr. Toe Dragon himself, Wacy Rabbit. So thanks, Toe Dragon, for the recommendation on asking Damien to come on the show. So I'm looking forward to it. Um, what's that
No,
stuff you tell it, tell it.
a word from our sponsor, maybe. Just kidding.
Okay, what are you
Okay,
drinking?
so a little bit of backstory. Soon I go to Sweden, and you know when you go into a particular any hotel, there's a complimentary like there's a water or there's if you open up the fridge, there's like little
Only when you
snacks or
stay at a
something.
rich hotel.
Oh, jeez. So we walk in and we're thirsty, we're dehydrated from the jet lag, from the plane, all
Are
these
you sure?
factors
Is
in.
that why you're dehydrated?
Yeah, oh totally. And it's dry. Anybody ever travels more than 3 hours in an airplane, you're dry. You're
I
thirsty for
wasn't when I
anything.
went to Mexico.
Well, you were in Mexico. We spent 15 hours on the plane.
You said
So,
three
anyways,
though. Okay, go
well,
ahead.
So we get to the room, and right now we're like, oh, it's thirsty. Then we open up the fridge and it's cold, and it's two glass containers of sparkling water. Unfortunately, what I always do though, up until this now, is I usually take a picture of what I'm drinking, whether it be let's say a bottle of wine or what, etc. I forgot to take a picture of the particular sparkling water and the carbonated water they were drinking. So I haven't been able to find it. I haven't been able to replicate the taste. So right now we've tried clearly Canadian Esperingo, I think it's called, and Kirkland from Costco. I bought a case from it last week, and now I'm having in my hand it's Montelier carbonated natural spring water. So
Why
if you hear
don't you
me
just
burping a lot, I
why don't you just call the hotels? Like, excuse me, I stayed at the hotel maybe a month ago, and I was just wondering what kind of sparkling water you guys offer in the hotel rooms because
be, because
I
I
live in
never thought of
Canada
that
and
till now.
and I I love the sparkling water.
Because I didn't think of that until now, actually.
Call there right now. See what they say. Called it on the air.
Maybe during the next segment, I'll call it. But I got.
Just Google Super 8 Sweden. And I'm not like Bush. I'm poor. Drinking real Canadian water from no frills. You can get a case of water for like $3. Whoa, I almost. But yeah, drinking water is good.
Mhm.
Um, something that we haven't had. We haven't had shutouts. You have any shutouts?
I have a shout out tonight specifically. His
Oh
name
wow.
is Chowie Mac, and he wants,
Does
yeah,
he want a
because
shutout?
yeah, I'm giving him a shout out.
Chowie.
Yeah, he mentioned to me when I played him Sunday night. That's why I left so early after Old Timers game, because I had a Casey's game at 10. So I want to go home, make myself a protein shake, have a little bit of bite to eat, and rest up. I'm serious, man. And then so during warm up, he pulls me aside. He goes, "Hey, Bush, one of the podcasts that you and Trevor talking about the Prime, so the sports drink.
Yeah.
He was letting his toddler drink it.
What?
Well, he didn't know. He goes, yeah, I didn't really know what it was until I heard you on your podcast, and I stopped work right away. And I zipped home and I dumped every container down the drain. He goes, holy man, you guys,
That
thank you so
is
much.
I was with SJ, my grandson, on
Yeah.
Saturday, and we went to the wholesale, and
Mhm.
he saw a case of Prime, and he was like bugging me, bugging me. He's like, "No, I'm not gonna buy you Prime."
Yeah.
Then we were walking in the drinks aisle, and I showed him three Red Bulls, and he knows Red Bulls are bad. And I said, "Drinking three of these are the same as drinking one Prime." And he's old enough to understand, and his eyes
Mhm.
just went big. He couldn't believe that he was drinking Prime. Like, well, when Prime first came into Canada,
Yeah.
Paul and I would bought him two, and I think he drank them like two in one night, and we didn't know.
That's probably the same thing as Chowie. Just didn't know. Okay, yeah, here's a drink.
Um, yeah,
Which
but it's
I must
crazy.
say that you said no to SJ.
Yeah.
That probably killed you right there.
No, not with stuff like that. If it
I
was
know.
something like popping chips, yeah, I'll buy them. But yeah, parents, babysitters
Yeah,
don't give kids Prime. Still can't believe they sell that shit.
I know.
But yeah, what's up, Charlie? I haven't played Charlie. You should be playing old timers soon, eh?
Yeah, he should be. Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't skated with him in quite a while. So when he plays old timer, I'll make sure to give him a good two-hander.
I think so.
Excuse me. NHL is this second half of the NHL season. Um, your Edmonton Oilers plays Vegas in
Tonight.
less than an hour. That should be a good game.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Vegas would win and snap the losing streak. I mean the winning streak. So, um, Who was your first half surprise for the NHL season, other than your Oilers?
Vancouver.
Yeah, Vancouver, right? Like, who would have
Like,
thought?
and have you watched many of the games?
Yeah, yeah,
They're just they're playing on a different level than
like,
anybody else. You know how Colorado dominated the playoffs 2 years ago?
yeah.
That's what they remind me of. They just know that they can beat everybody, and they are.
Like, how
Even
is Jack Hughes able to dominate? That kid's 5'9", 150 pounds on D, and he's
with
so,
equipment.
yeah, I mean, he's so good. But yeah, Vancouver's my pick too. I mean, Brock Besser is so good, and just so yeah. And they just added another Swedish player from Calgary, which will bolster their lineup. So yeah, yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, I would say Vancouver Canucks. It's
Hmm.
just weird because we're talking coached the Coyotes and they were shitty, but he goes to Vancouver and it's totally.
Hmm.
Is it because he has better players, or did he change up his coaching system? Who knows, right?
Yeah.
Who's who will be your second half surprise for the second part of the season? I'll let you pick your Oilers because
Oh, it's hard to say.
who's on?
I
Mm,
thought, I think also in LA.
yeah, I'll go with the Jets. I think the Jets
Yep.
are gonna shit the bed. I think they're
I
gonna go
think they
downhill.
I think they're gonna slip. I don't think they're gonna fall in a playoff spot, but they might be in the sixth spot, seventh spot come playoff time.
They're losing to Pittsburgh 3-1 right now, and I think
Yeah.
Hellebuck's gonna run out of gas.
Hmm.
It's not like the Grant Fuhr days where Grant Fuhr used to play 75 games a year. So I think, yeah, that too. He was on another
Yeah,
high, that guy.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, what seems like today's NHL, most goalies play 50 games,
yeah.
maybe 60. So your backup has to be like a 1A, not like a 2A, 2B, right? He has to be just as good as the starter. Yeah, so I go Winnipeg for mine. I don't know, for some
Hmm.
reason they don't finish too strong. So
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
first half MVP, who's yours? McDavid?
Chris Knobloch.
Surprised you didn't say Darnell Nurse.
Oh, yeah.
Or what did you say about defenseman? Uh Bouchard, what did you call him again?
The Bush Bomb.
The Bush Ball.
Mhm.
I say Austin Matthews for me. Man, that guy's scored 40 goals already.
Yeah,
And it was awesome to see him score in Winnipeg.
I bet. So going back to what I said last week, the players were ripping on Nylander how he was just coasting up. I said, no, he wasn't. He's
No.
waiting for that pass, that
Yeah.
shift. He's waiting for that seam. A lot of players do.
Yeah, you're right. Hate to say it and
Mhm.
admit it. What about our niche players? How have they
Oh,
played? Ethan Bear, how would
even
you
better
rate him playing for Washington?
for Washington coming back from injury. I'd say he's doing well.
Yeah, I watched a couple Washington games and he doesn't look out of place. He's on their second power play units. 12 games, 1 goal, 2 assists for 3 points, 8 penalty minutes, but he's -5.
Oh, well,
So, but give him time, right?
yeah,
He was out November, December, like 4 months pretty much.
yeah.
What about TJ Oshie? That guy's always consistent, no matter no matter what. Like he's always shows up and he always manages to score points. Let's see
Yeah.
his points for this year. In 30 games, 8 goals, 4 assists for 12 points, -8 with 28 penalty minutes. Just like, how old is he? TJ Oshie's 37, so his points are going down, but He's 12 more games for 1,000 games, which is a big
Oh,
milestone.
yeah.
Who else is indigenous that plays in the NHL? I think that's the only two that I can think of. Ethan Bear,
Zach.
TJ Oshie, Zach Whitecloud too.
Yeah.
Of course, I forget about Zach. Jeez Louise. Okay, let's see his stats. Zach White Cloud. His stats are 35 games this year. He has 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points, 22 penalty minutes, and he's even for his plus minus. He's been hurt, eh? So he's
Yeah.
who else is indigenous? No, I can't think. Well, Craig Berube, unfortunately, got fired from St. Louis. I think he'll get a coaching job pretty
Oh,
soon.
yeah.
He'll probably be one of the first ones to be rehired once someone gets fired. But so we got Bear, Oshie, and White Cloud. I feel like we're missing someone. There's no more Carey Price. Brady Keepers in the A. Uh, Garnet Pilon's in the A with Ottawa's
Mm,
farm team. I can't think of anyone else. There must be some.
there's gotta
I
be
think
someone.
we're forgetting someone.
Boston,
Hmm.
Buffalo, Calgary, Carolina, Chicago,
Oh
Colorado,
well.
Columbus.
NHL week, All-Star weekend was this past weekend. Did you watch any of it?
I haven't watched it since probably 1997.
I watched the PWHL
Mm-hmm.
All-Star game, the 3-on-3, and that was actually pretty entertaining. That was
I
more
would
entertaining than the men's
have.
on Sunday. Jocelyn Rock, she was a former guest of the show. She scored a nice goal. Abby Rock was on the same team and she played pretty good. So it was cool to watch that. But yeah, I didn't watch the men's on Sunday. We had
No.
hockey, so I was like, yeah, I don't really care for it. So yeah, it is what it is. I think good job on promoting the women's league though. That was
Yeah.
really cool. And good for them. They're starting to sell out. Like Toronto's playing Montreal at the ACC or Scotiabank Arena, and they sold out. Over 18,000 people will be at that game. So should be interesting. Too bad we didn't live closer to Minnesota. That'd be pretty neat to
I
go
know.
watch. Um, yeah, let's head to our interview with Damien. How do you say his last name?
Kelto.
Ketlo. I said Kelto, sorry.
It's Kelto.
Ketlo.
Oh,
Ketlo. Ketlo.
Kelto.
Let's go and
Kelto.
let's
Okay.
ask him how he says his breath. See if we got it right or wrong. Okay,
Yeah.
let's head over to our interview with
Okay.
Damien. Let's go. Hey guys, for episode 105 of Rez Hockey Podcast, our guest for this week is from Nadleh. Nadleh?
Yeah.
I knew I
You
was
Yeah,
said
gonna
no,
butcher that.
it.
From Nadleh, British Columbia. Our guest for this week is Damien Ketlo. Welcome to the show.
yeah, thanks for having me, boys. Looking forward to it.
I had to kind of slow down because you kind of got me paranoid now because when I messaged you our Zoom link, I spelt your name wrong. Now I was looking at my phone to make sure I was 100% correct.
Yeah, no worries. It's Ketlo used to be Keteklo. Used to mean it means actually wet moccasins in Daketh or
Oh,
carrier safe. Yeah,
that's
but
neat.
yeah, it was colonized to make it easier pronunciation, I guess you could say, which I'm sure lots of people listening can relate.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. How did you get started in hockey?
Yeah, I grew up playing Fraser Lake Minor single A hockey. So if you don't know where Notley is, it's an hour and a half west of Prince George from an aerial view. Fraser Lake's not much further, but Fraser Lake actually traditionally, it was said Notley, and means Notley Bun actually in Carrier. But anyways, Fraser Lake Minor hockey, for the Fraser Lake Hawks, we had players from. There's two reserves surrounding Fraser Lake, and then there's the town. basically a mining industry town in West Fraser town, West Fraser sawmill town. And then so Sulaco is on the west side of the lake, and Notley's on the other side. So we had a good mixture of kids, and we were always pretty good. So that's where I grew up until about played that. I was always small town, so I got to play 2 years underage every time because there was no other attendees, right? So it kind of got to develop like that because you're like, well, you play single A hockey, like what is there? But we actually had a good crop of kids. We only had two lines the whole time, but like it was cool. It made us all get good, and lots of us actually cracked the Caribou Cougars major midget squad from our region of like playing against like 14 James is a pretty big hockey town, and like in Burns Lake, Vanderhoof, we played like kind of like the senior league from Williams Lake to like
Okay.
kind of thing, right? So yeah, I played there till I was 15, and then got off the res, and we also had an outdoor rink in Notley, so that was awesome too. So that kind of helped you get those long hours on the ice kind of thing.
Notley. Sorry, just trying to pronounce Notley.
Yeah,
It's a Ojibwe dialect, so or it's not a Ojibwe dialect, so I have a hard time pronouncing the BC.
Yeah, those
Whichever it is,
Ojibways are a different breed, so don't mind them.
I apologize. Uh,
Sure.
you meant you mentioned attending. Did you always want to be a goalie?
I was always a D-man actually, and yeah, I started playing hockey when I was 7, I think. I don't think I became goalie officially till I was like 10 or 11. Basically, it's actually kind of a funny story. My buddy who actually played, he cracked the Caribou Cougars with me, as well as a D-man, but and he ended up playing junior A as well too and stuff. But he used to be the 10 team. He got lit up one game, and it was like, nah, man, I'm done with this. Going goalie, and I was like, I'll try it out, and kind of just got stuck there. I like I always like I always liked the gear, and it was just meant to be. It was supposed to happen, right? It was pretty fitting.
You played junior in the dub for Regina for the Pats. How was your experience playing in Regina?
It was good. It had ups and downs, I would say. It took a while. Like I didn't really know about the dub, like being from Notley and whatnot. Like I didn't even know the Bantam draft existed and stuff. So like it was quite a journey to get there. Like I remember like getting home from the res on the quad, and like before I cracked Regina like a couple of years before, and my mom's like, "Hey Damien, like it wasn't the Pats who called, but she was like the Seattle Thunderbirds called, and they said they wanted to draft you, and I was like, that's like WHL, like that's like big leagues, and me being like a kid from res kind of thing was like, man, like we didn't have Google, and we had dial up and crappy internet kind of thing, so I didn't really know about those things. I thought like that was like AHL kind of thing, like in my kid mind, so it's
Yeah.
kind of a little naive, I guess. So the Pats actually saw me. I cracked the U16 BC like team where you go play in the winter games kind of thing. So like no scouts really you come up here kind of thing. So we went to trail, played where the Smoke Eaters played U16. We had our little Northwest team, and we played some Vancouver team that just had a bunch of sick players, right? And I stood in my head. I think we lost 3-2, but basically, long story short, stood in my head. Played 3 out of 4 games, but the scouts seen the first game, and they literally just took a chance on me and drafted me from on a whim, basically. So like to the kids listening, if it all it takes is essentially potentially one game. And then I got drafted from there, and then had to crack Caribou Cougars major midget the next year. Left at 15, played BCHL Spruce King 16, and then finally cracked the squad for the Pats for a few years before I went to go into the Hurricanes there. So it was super cool. I got to play with big shots like Eberly, and he won the gold medal there with that 5.4
Oh
seconds
yeah,
goal.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I got to see him become like a hockey rock star overnight, and like it was pretty cool. And just like playing and like in front of fans, and like just like big nice arena, like sick dressing rooms, sick weight rooms. Like that's just so super cool. And it becomes the norm eventually, but when you're like it's pretty intimidating too when you go there, right? So but yeah, that a shout out to like them for giving me a chance, because I got drafted late, like 10th round, like 200 something. What I thought it was freaking awesome, but like,
Yeah.
couple tennies drafted ahead of me in my class in my year, and had to, my goalie partner was with the LA Kings and stuff like that, Lyndon Rowett. So like, yeah, it was pretty cool being so close. My first, actually, super cool story. I got called up when I was 15. Um, and I backed up in the first game I backed up against was against Carey Price. He just got back. I was just like, this is sick. I wanted to be like, hey, I'm native like you, but I was too timid.
How was it adjusting from like a res from BC and all the way to Saskatchewan and play? Like, was it a hard time to transition from a small res to a big city in Regina?
Oh yeah, it was super hard, I think. But I got like a little segue there. Like I lived in Prince George 2 years prior, so that was
Okay.
only half. So although I moved away at 15, I still could see my parents. Like, they'd come to the game, all the home games, and the odd time they'd go to those Vancouver trips and stuff. And it wasn't like junior, like straight up where you when I went to the Pats, like you only get 6 days to come home for Christmas, and then you leave on Boxing Day at like 6 a.m. because they book you this super cheap flight to save some answers like that. I don't know. It was pretty brutal leaving Christmas at Christmas night when you come from a native family and everyone's gathered in under your one house, right? Kind of thing. So, but yeah, that kind of helped the transition to being two provinces away. Uh, and then like I think just once you get there, you get settled and you got a job to do. And it was such a like hair back like time. Like all of a sudden you go from playing like a bunch of games per season and you're on the ice every day. So it's kind of just like down to business and kind of get it done kind of thing, right? So I think the harder part was just like the 2 day drive in my little Tiburon with all my goalie my drum gear and stuff, like just too much gear kind of guy. But yeah, it was yeah, it helped transition it was a way to get off res and kind of go see the world, and,
Yeah.
and see the opportunity that come with it kind of thing.
What was your best experience in junior that you can think
Um,
of offhand?
I think the first games and last games, like I think my first game I played against Kemper like the first 2 games, and I never lost against Kemper, and then I was like ranked ahead of him, but obviously I didn't get drafted after, and he's Stanley Cup guy now, so that was pretty cool. Like coming in the league, like, hey, I can actually do this. And then this like kind of riding it out and going into my last season with the Hurricanes, getting MVP in my last game for among my teammates, kind of which is pretty special because I wasn't even supposed to play my 20-year-old year. I basically got traded to the Hurricanes as a rental player because my goalie partner was at Washington Capitals camp, and I was just there to stop the bleeding kind of thing. So I already had like the BCHL teams. Spruce Kings traded my rights to the West Side Warriors, thinking the West Side was thinking that I was going to get sent down from the dub kind of thing. So I think just like the appreciation from day one to the end, I think those were pretty darn special, and having a good group of guys to go out with. And then I got to go to the coast for a bit too and play for the Colorado Eagles after that. So it kind of everything kind of came full circle. So that was pretty special. The whole journey was amazing, man.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of Regina's really well known for their pizza. Every time I drive through Regina, go to Regina, I love like Houston's pizza. Were you a
Oh,
big pizza guy back in the day?
against our will, like actually we used to have to like do like we deliver to fans, and sometimes we have our jerseys on, and some people were fans, so like we deliver these pizzas for like I forget what it was. And in junior you got to do things like you got to go give back to the town and
Yeah.
kind of get to know the people and the fans. And so we'd always have leftover pizza after doing those functions. We'd crush in Houston pizza. But like being from BC, we're like, what is this, man? It's actually pretty good. It's pretty greasy, but it's pretty
It
good.
is. Yeah, I love Houston's pizzas.
Yeah.
We're
Pineapple?
Possibly, I forgot about doing that stuff, man. Been a while.
Do you think pineapple belongs on pizza?
What's that?
So do you think pineapple belongs on pizza?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big food guy, man. No,
oh,
like
I'm not a
Pointing
fan
at
of
you, Trevor.
pineapple.
you don't like it?
Yeah, I dislike pineapple on my pizza.
Oh,
It's
I like it. The boys would always get pizza on the bus, and you're like, I don't want this pineapple, and I'm a big eater, so I just like, man, I'll crush it. I'll crush it. So
after the dub, after Regina and Lethbridge, you went to University of Lethbridge. How was it playing U Sports, like transitioning from the dub to U Sports?
oh, it was a tough transition. We were always on the lower level of that team. We had to compete against the Golden Bears. I think we finally beat the Golden Bears. Kind of, but yeah, that league, Unreal League, actually doesn't get the credit where it's due. I think maybe does now a little bit more. Just like with awareness and social media and everything too. But like when you go from junior, you get the span of 16-year-olds like boys playing against men who are like 20. So when you're a 20-year-old playing in junior, you get to kind of take it, not necessarily some 16 and 17-year-olds are prodigies, but like you get to take advantage of them like still growing into being a man, right? And in uni, it was every person's a man. They're either, they've either are played in the coast or some guys have gone to NHL camps and played in the A and whatnot too. And I mean, we even had guys who went played against guys who were like signed with, NHL teams too. And then obviously the guys who were doing the scholarship. So yeah, nowhere to hide. Everyone's an adult now, and it was just a really good league overall. It was, yeah. The only thing I didn't like about it was like not really fighting like it was when I played in the junior leagues.
Yeah.
So all those guys you played in the Western League who were more quieter. The Western League, they get beat up. Oh, in the Sis, they'd start they'd run their mouth a little bit more, so because there's less consequences because you get more for fighting. I wouldn't be doing fighting, but you get what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you study?
I got a degree in Indigenous Studies, so yeah, I wrote out the full 5 years and got paid to go to school. Utilized my full ride. Plus, every year I played in a dub, I got a free year of schooling too. So then, being First Nations, obviously taking advantage of the education benefits too from that too. So it was super cool. Yeah, Indigenous came out of there with Indigenous studies. Learned a lot about Blackfoot people and history and um, you know, uh, basically how Canada came to be the way it is today.
After Lethbridge, you went to Australia. You suited up for the Sydney Ice Dogs. How was it playing down under?
Oh man, that was the time of my life. Like too much fun, I'd say. Like
Yeah.
literally, yeah. Um, Funny story. So I thought I was done. Like, I wanted to go back to the coast because I had a little stint there, but it just wasn't an option. So I actually got a phone call from the GM of Sydney, um, who's actually from 100 Mile, BC. So he's a Canadian dude. And I was like, is this like a joke? Is this like a prank call? So I Googled because fast forward, I'm not 15. You can Google stuff now and you can kind of see if this league's real. So I look up the roster and there's a guy named Grant Toolman on the team who I played with when I played for Prince George Spruce Kings, and he ended up playing Swift Current Broncos. So I got to play against him a lot in my dub career. So I literally had him on Facebook and it was like, dude, is this team real? Well, I see you're on the roster. He's like, dude, come, you won't regret it. You'll have the time of your life. So it was unreal. It was a good way to get away from the North American game and kind of the North American game's very business-like, and obviously the Sydney was business-like too. With like if you're the import player, you got to play. So I played through some injuries and whatnot, and just got her done. But those guys are such good guys. Really kind of learned to love the game again, and not so much like business-like and politics and kind of things like that. It was just a good time, and the sun shining all the time. They put us up in like a there's four Canadian import players in one house, like this $1 million home on the beach in Sydney. So like it was sometimes hard to go to the rink, honestly. But yeah, it was a good time. Got to shut out my first game, and yeah, it was fun. Yeah, it was pretty winded. It was pretty hot there.
What's the typical Australian diet like for you when you were there?
Actually, like, pretty close to what we got here. Yeah, it's just yeah, good breakfast, good colorful breakfast, and eggs, avocado, mushrooms, like toast and all that kind of thing. And then yeah, your usual thing. And actually after the season, they have this thing called I ended up working at this golf course after the season just to kind of go see the country a little bit. So they have this thing called smoko, and it's basically like a breakfast between breakfast lunch all you can eat buffet kind of thing with like, so we ended up just like crushing smoko every day after work. We'd only work from like 5 to 10 just to kind of, pay for our beer money per se. And you're living on the beach and everything. So yeah, there was no shortage of food in Australia. So that was a good time. And then we just go to the gym and then hit up the beach after. So it was pretty fun.
With KFC being like a First Nation delicacy, did you try KFC down there?
No, I don't think I did.
Did they
And
have KFC in Australia?
I don't know. I know they have McDonald's and everything, and everything's McDonald's is a little bit different. So, but I can't recall KFC. And yeah, food's pretty expensive. Like McDonald's was like way more expensive than what it is here too. So
Really?
I can't
I just
answer the KFC question, man. But yeah, minimum wage is like $20 there, and that was like in 2017. So
That's not bad.
yeah.
I just asked about KFC because Bush and I went on trips during the Christmas holidays. Bush went to Sweden and I went to Mexico, and we both had KFC while we're in our
No
different
way.
Sweden and Mexico. So I thought I'd ask because every native person loves KFC. So
Chicken skin sandwiches overseas.
do you still strap on the pads from time to time?
Um, Actually, yeah, I played senior double A for the Entrepreneur Stars last couple of years. So I didn't play this year. But yeah, a couple of years ago, I guess now, we wrapped up the season against actually a fellow First Nation fella. You might recognize his name, Chief Willie Sellers. So yeah. Actually, funny story. We played him in overtime, and we won. So it was like the battle of. I'm on council for Nadleh, hey? So Chief is obviously chief of his nation. So it was battle of the politician native. Yeah, so that was fun. And it's cool playing for the Chapman North Stars. It's all the guys from the same area. It's like boys from the reserves I mentioned, Slacko, Notley. I got to play with my nephew, so that was trippy. Um,
Feeling old?
yeah, right. And then yeah, all the guys from like Vanderfort Fort and Prince George and stuff like that. So, and then not really playing much, just kind of doing the odd ice time. I got a Prince George Spruce Kings alumni game I got to play in March. I played a Caribou Cougars alumni game a month ago or so. Yeah. And it was actually funny. It was old guys versus the young guys, and we were
Oh,
the
jeez.
guys. But we won, so it's all good.
Does your phone still ring with teams asking you to go play res tourneys?
Yeah, I was trying to come out of retirement for Rez tourney with the big guy Lake Mohawks. But after senior a couple of years ago, I had to kind of just heal up some wounds, so I couldn't go. But I'm hoping to play in the Saskamoose. I want to check that off the list at least, right before I get too old, kind of thing. So yeah, but yes, people still calling. I just gotta bite the bullet and get her done here soon.
Yeah.
I don't. Last time I played in the native tourney, Gino Ojic was playing, and so yeah, it was fun. Yeah,
You're on Big Brother Canada 7. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
kind of. Oh yeah, just a trip, man. So how I got there, I've done a few hockey interviews in my day, right? So kind of just put that into the entry video or wherever. My wife texted me. She was my girlfriend at the time. I was at work and she's like, "I'm signing up for Big Brother because you're gonna get on." I was just like, "Okay, like just happy go lucky." And so we did a video that night and sent it in, and it was actually a pretty good take. So we were like, before we pressed enter, we looked at each other and we're like, "Holy shit, this might come true." And it did. So yeah, it was harder being away on Big Brother than it was like playing hockey. Like I was gone for like 100 days without any connection to the outside world. So like they took my cell phone. They came to the res and not literally kidnapped me. Like it was trippy. Like, okay, we're not here to like take pictures or anything like we said in our email or whatever. Like you got to give me your phone now. I'm like, all right. So on that, I think I lasted 55 days in the house, but there's like a pre-production area where you're in a hotel for days and weeks before that, and then after too and stuff like that, and in jury house I was in jury too. So yeah, it was I was scared of being the first one evicted, but I wasn't. But I was always on the block because I guess I was a pretty big threat to lots of people in the house. But even though I had a hard time winning competitions, I think only won one competition. So I had to do the social game and adapt there. So I couldn't be a good old stereotypical jock and had to adapt. But it was super cool because what I got out of that was I got to share my degree in Indigenous studies and what I heard, like what I learned, but also like share my own experience and change perspectives on and spread awareness on, the history of Canada and whatnot, and things I did with my among my teammates and stuff, like in dealing with racism and whatnot. Like I've had teammates who are kind of borderline racist at the beginning of the year, and then the end of the year, they change their perspective and come up to me and be like, Ketsy, like thanks for, you know, like showing me a kind of a new way and changing my stereotypes and things that I've done. So, but now I got to do it on the not saying people in the house were racist, they weren't, but like on a national level, just to teach that and spread awareness.
Yeah.
So it was like the one of the big accomplishments I was pretty proud of being on that show and just showing like I think we've had a couple native people on that show since then too. So it just shows that like even if it's sports or acting and or music or whatever, man, just put yourself out there and dare to dream, man.
There's a page, it's called Big Brother Wiki Fandom,
Yeah.
and it says that you got nominated 5 times. Like I watched Big Brother in the past, like a long time ago.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of times being nominated, man.
Dude, it was fucking stressful. Like, man, I was sweating a lot in that house, man. It was brutal. Yeah, yeah.
So where did they
Holy.
have it? Like in Toronto?
Yeah, it's in Toronto. It's like
Okay.
basically a studio house in Toronto, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's all I even broke a door one time because it's all kind of like props and stuff and like these cameras on the walls and stuff like that. Yeah, it's pretty trippy, man. Yeah. What an experience though. So yeah.
Would you go on the show if it was like a res version of Big Brother? Like say like Big Auntie or something, just have half the guest aunties, then the half the guests just bunch of young bucks.
I I think it'd be better if it was like a Rez Big Brother show because like man, so in our traditional language, NATO means white man kind of thing. So in the NATO world of Big Brother, it's they're more sneaky and more spindle around conversations. I think NATO would be straight up like in your face, kind of like at least I know this person's out to get me because I literally
Yeah.
just said. So, I think it could be pretty fun. It wouldn't be a dull moment, that's for sure. Yeah.
You're also a musician. How did you get into music?
Actually, my dad was he was a drummer for this band called the Rightful Owners back in the day. So I think it just kind of was handed down. Obviously, I had to work for it. Like, I wanted a drum set, and I always loved metal music, even though you can't really hear that in Ketaclan. It's more like hip hop alternative kind of thing. But I do come from a metal background. I used to play drums for a band called Omegacron. But anyways, so I got my first drum set, and after like years of begging, asking, finally this drum set came, and my dad's a drummer, so I was like, he set up the drum set for me, helped me set it up, and then I was like, okay, you gonna teach me? And he's like, nope, and he slammed the door and he walked away. And I was like, what? So I bashed on that thing, not knowing what I was doing for like 2 weeks, right? And then I showed him some incentive that I actually wanted to learn. It wasn't just going to be handed like free drum lessons kind of thing. So he came into the room 2 weeks later and showed me a beat, and the rest is history. So I just always had a passion for music. And then later on, I don't think I picked up guitar till I was like 17, but I always could sing kind of thing. So I had to learn how to play guitar because you can't just bring a drum set around a campfire.
Who was
Singing.
your favorite drummer and favorite band?
Favorite drummer would be the late Vinnie Paul from
Oh yeah.
Pantera. Yeah, hands down. Yeah, and Pantera was a big fan of obviously Pantera, Metallica, Megadeth, all those core bands, and then like new metal like Disturbed and Avenged, etc. However, I missed in that, and then I also like I grew up listening to Eminem and like I like Yellow Wolf and like Dirty Heads and like more that more easier on the ears music, I guess, for the comment. So yeah, kind of, and then I love the oldies, man. Like music my parents listen to, right? Like CCR and the
Oh yeah.
Eagles, all that classic rock, and yeah, all that stuff. So yeah,
You're not a country fan?
yeah, I lived in Lethbridge, so it's kind of you have no
It grew
choice.
on you? Yeah.
It grew on me. But I do like Lethbridge was more like the pop country kind of Luke
Oh,
Bryan kind of stuff. So, but I grew up listening to like Johnny Cash and all that kind of stuff. So
what about
yeah.
Morgan Wallen? Because I always ask everyone who's a
Oh
country
no
fan.
no. How about Roger Miller? I like Roger Miller. He's pretty good.
I actually got Luke Bryan tickets today. He's going to
Oh
be in
no way.
Winnipeg in April, so
Nice. That's all that would play at Boss Hogs and Lethbridge. It would be
yeah.
Luke. You can ask Lacey about Boss Hogs, maybe not.
Oh yeah. What is your favorite part of making music?
I think just the outlet and the creativity. I think it goes hand in hand. Like being creative is it's just something it's fun to do, and when you actually have some success out of it, that's like the reward. But also just the outlet, like whether it's like hockey's a pretty good outlet of mine, right? But music does the same thing, and it just makes me feel good after kind of thing. So yeah, I think just making the world go round, getting thoughts out on a piece of paper, and if I can't get it out like that way, I just go bash some drums and hit some stuff too. It's just similar to like hitting weights and like out and playing hockey and sports, baseball, etc.
How does it feel? Like, do you have a sense of pride and very honored? Like when like I have Apple Music and I could search your name and I can your songs will pop up. Like, how do you feel knowing, oh my God, like my songs are on like not social media, but like Apple and Spotify and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's like I can relate it to hockey dreams coming true, like kid dreams wanting to be a musician and stuff. It's like that. Like I remember when we put our first Kettle song out. It was like, oh my God, we have a song out. And then we did Good Time Cheese, our second song, and it was kind of like our mini one hit wonder kind of thing. That was pretty special. And yeah, and then that song ended up getting played on Big Brother, so it kind of went to a little national after that. So that was pretty amazing. Yeah.
For those who don't know, what's your music name?
Damien K, lowercase with the period. So yeah, Damien K is my solo stuff. Um, Ketaclan for the band stuff. And actually, my brother and I just did a metal, and my cousin actually, who's on bass, my brother's on guitar, vocals, and I did drums. A Daketh um, metal band called Shuttle Tuss. So yeah, so it's the single for that one's called Say What Do You Know. Um, Basically, it's all in Daketh traditional language. So
Oh,
it's yeah.
cool.
So yeah, Damien K, Ketacline, and Channel Tuss, and we used to be in a band called Omega Crom as well. So done a number of projects and whatnot, and worked with some fellow artists too, like um Hannah Cooley. I'm working on something with Earthchild, Joey Styles. That was pretty cool because we used to listen to, Sugar Cane.
Sugar cane, yeah.
I made a song with Joey Styles, so that was cool. Like, yeah, it's trippy. Yeah, just calling him on the phone, be like, "Whoa, dude, that's actually it's trippy." Yeah. Gotta appreciate those moments. I think that's a special thing too. Like sometimes you get caught so much in the moment that they're gone, right? So you gotta appreciate those times too. Just like, for the kids playing junior and stuff and musicians and whatnot too, because it can be gone pretty quick too, right?
Yeah.
What would be your music goal?
Um, I don't know. I think we didn't really apply for a Grammy for Good Time Cheese, so that'd kind of be cool. But I don't know. After Big Brother, it's the clout's not so much there. It's more just for the love. I think just to be successful with it, to have it pay the bills again pre-COVID, because
Yeah.
things are down COVID, and just to play in front of people who maybe it'll help them in their life and whatnot. And if they can relate, that's pretty special too. Relate to your creativity and your life trials and tribulations and whatnot too. So I think that'd be pretty special. And yeah, just to be able to do it successfully, but it doesn't have to be too crazy. Like
If you could pick one musician you could collaborate with, dead or alive, who would it be?
That's a good damn question, man.
I like thinking things like that too. If it
Yeah,
was me, I'd probably pick Johnny Cash. I mean, I grew up Johnny Cash. My
yeah.
grandfather like grew up listening Johnny Cash with him, and so yeah, for me, it'd probably be Johnny Cash.
You know what? I'm gonna go with a guy who's alive still. I'd like to make some music with Yellow Wolf. I think that'd be pretty cool. I think
Oh yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I think that'd be pretty special. And then I'd like to jam with a number of people who are gone, I'd say too. So
Imagine jamming with like Jimi Hendrix.
right?
Just
Yeah, that name popped up. Yeah, Jimi Hendrix and yeah, like I a big regret of mine is my drummer guy who my favorite drummer Vinnie Paul he passed away and I was gonna go see
yeah.
him live a couple years before he died. So yeah, it'd be pretty special to jam just to have a not maybe not a drum off but just a jam, you know. So but yeah,
I
yeah,
actually go see Pantera on the 16th in Winnipeg, so should be interesting.
unreal. Yeah,
Yeah.
Zach Wild on guitar and drummer from Anthrax, Charlie I think his name is or something like that. So yeah, that's cool. I'm jealous. I want to go check that out.
Um, Zach Wild when he played for Black Label Society was unreal.
I
He's
bet, man.
it was him and Anthrax.
Yeah,
One night, it was last year, and he just blew Anthrax out of the water. It was unreal.
I bet he did, man. That guy's unreal. And yeah, like lots of people don't know about Zach Wild because he's kind of like, I guess if you're a metal fan, you should know,
Yeah,
but like they just kind of say Ozzy Osbourne. They don't realize he was like the guy.
yeah.
I know a lot of it too, right? So
You ever watch? Yeah, you a fan of Godsmack?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I like Godsmack.
Ye-
I play straight out of line pretty good on the drums.
Yeah, have you ever watched them in concert?
Yeah, yeah, I see the singer do the drummer off of the other drummer. That
Okay,
drummer's sick though. He's got like the sickest style. Like
yeah.
he can hit fast and everything and hard, but he can do the showboat like I was a big fan of like that exaggerated like big long drumsticks and like big, just over
Mhm.
exaggerated hits and everything. So I like that. I think I like that about their live performance and whatnot too and stuff. Yeah. So
Did you know that Ozzy Osbourne, his drummer back in the 80s and 90s, Randy Castillo, was indigenous?
yeah, I did know that. The Indians who rock the world, right? Isn't he? I watched
Yeah,
found that out. So yeah, it's a good documentary to watch and realize how much talent there is, right? And
yeah, right, yeah.
I'm happy there's some light shed on that because, in this day and age, it's super cool to see Indigenous hockey players get shouted out and whatnot and get some awareness on them and stuff. But back in the day, it's just like word of mouth, old school, right? So happy they did a little showcase on all those musicians. So that's pretty special.
What advice would you give young players, young hockey players or musicians, who live on the reserve and have that opportunity to move out of the res for a while to experience the world or have it go play hockey or play some music? What would you tell the young guys?
I would just tell them go for it. I think a common thing for maybe Indigenous players is homesickness, and you're always you come from that core family, those values, right? And it's tough when some of your elders aren't doing too good and they go away, but we have the means to go home nowadays and check in and do those unfortunate events like if we had to do a potlatch or a funeral. It's not so like business like in sports and whatnot where you could you might not actually be able to go home kind of thing. So I say just go for it. Home will always be there, but there's a small window of opportunity, and if you regret things from 10 years and you're looking back and saying I shoulda woulda coulda, man, you're gonna regret it. So I think just give yourself a chance, go for it, and you can give back to your community later, but you're gonna learn from that perspective and context, and who knows, man, you might make it to the big time too. So yeah, I think you owe it to yourself.
True, that's very true. Before we let you go, we always finish our interviews with what we call 5 rapid niche questions. You ready?
Okay, sure, man.
Question number 1: baked or fried bannock?
Oh, my NATO side might be coming on this. I think I like baked, man.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
We had a listener on our show, one of our good buddies. He actually went through every interview, and only 25% of our guys on the show prefer baked bannock, which is I'm shocked because I'm a big Bannock type of guy.
You big? All right, there we
Yeah,
go.
so
And I could have said the easy answer, right? Fry bread, because
yeah,
it would have been like that's like the norm. But I gotta stick with what I like, and that's just the truth, man.
exactly. Question number 2: Ever use a bed sheet for a door or a curtain?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, yeah. I have a unit.
Looks like you have one right now in your background. Just kidding.
I use one of those. I use it in Lethbridge.
He looked. Question number 3: Ever see King of the North Ernest Munias live in concert?
No, I haven't.
You'll have to put that on your bucket list.
Okay.
Question number 4: Indian taco or Bannock burger?
Oh, Indian taco for sure.
5th and last question: Can you jig?
Only when I'm feeling good.
All right, Damien, thanks for coming on the show, and I really appreciate you keeping in contact with me and for us setting up a date because I know it took a while for us to get connected and we were going back and forth for quite a while, but I really appreciate you coming on the show. We had a blast.
Yeah, man, it was unreal, boys. I happy what you guys are doing and shedding light on present and past players. So keep doing what you're doing. Much appreciated, Dennis Pepper. Thank you for your time, man.
Yep.
All right, take care and
Thanks, David.
hopefully our paths cross one of these days.
Yeah, hopefully we see each other at a native tourney or something.
At
I
the
don't know.
Freddy.
Yeah, to Freddie,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Cheers.
All right, man. Cheers and take care.
Cheers. Take care. Yeah.
Yep.
See you.
Hi.
For this week, Bush is trying out his card reading skills. That's why he has the background. If you want a free reading, or you want him to read your palm or your feet, Bush will give you a free reading. Looks like you're a medium or something with your background.
Oh, yeah.
Astronomer slash medium slash psychic. Do you believe in that kind of stuff?
I do.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, me too. It's it's pretty interesting stuff. Like I went to, I guess you can say a medium, and she like knew things like about our family and stuff. I was like, whoa. It was kind of neat. She knew a lot of stuff. So it's always cool. And if you don't believe it, that's all right too. Not gonna say anything negative, but it's always cool and interesting. Thanks, Damien, for coming on the show for episode 105. We really appreciate it. It's cool that
Mhm.
we get these kind of guys who life after hockey, they do a lot of different activities, a lot of different projects. Music being one of them, so it's always cool. So for this week, Dennis, aka Bushy has this week's Rez Hockey Top 5. Take it away, Bushrat.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's kind of lame. All right. So what this is coinciding with All-Star Game. These are All-Star Game inspired events that I think a Rest Hockey tournament should adopt. In no particular order, these are my top 5 events that I think we should see it at a tournament as prestigious like the Freddy or Naffin. All right. Now, can you go all weekend without your dialect expression? You know how we say "shta."
That's a hard one.
Like, could you go all weekend on the
No,
ice or even on the fans?
no.
See, yeah.
I can't even go a shift. I guaranteed you.
All right. And the next one is, could you go all weekend without a coffee?
Yeah, because I don't drink coffee. So
Okay.
if it was like a pop, like a Pepsi, then no.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I'd have to have a Pepsi.
So your caffeine fix is another thing.
It's Pepsi,
Yeah.
Coca-Cola.
Now, this is to all your players. You know who you are. See how many rolls of tape you can secretly borrow all weekend.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys like that, and that's why I'm a secretive. I keep my tape very secret, and I don't share. I don't like sharing tape.
And number, and then the next one, I think they should time it. You should wake up on the res and a scramble to put all your gear into your bag half hour before the game.
That and even a hotel. I mean, if there's
Yeah, oh,
three of
yeah.
you, two or three of you staying in a room, and you have your equipment all over the room, it's a mad scramble and who's
Mhm.
what's gear and
Yeah.
shit like that. Yeah.
And the last one, and I think the best one was be see who can dress the fastest after walking into the arena 10 minutes before the game.
That's a tough one. I don't like dressing fast. I
I
have to
hate
take
it.
my time. That's why I go to like the rink like an hour ahead just to take my time, even though I'm still one of the last ones out of the dressing room when the Zamboni's on, but still I don't like rushing. I don't know, it's it's not good like rushing. Take your time when you dress. So yeah, that's a good top five. Speaking, I made a list. If there was a native all-star game at the Freddy, there'd be two teams of 20 players. So that'd be um nine nine skaters and one goalie. I picked players who played at the Freddy last year. I know I'm missing a lot of good players who didn't play at the Freddy, like like Connor Roulette. I didn't put him on because he didn't play. Then Owen Hedrick, he didn't. Owen
Mhm.
didn't play. So, but Owen and Connor should be on this list if
Yeah.
they did. Excuse me. Okay, here's my list for the native all-star game if they were going to have one at the Freddy. If it was a 3-on-3 format, my forwards would be Bryce Gervais, Troy Lajeunesse, Keyshawn Gervais, Riley McKay, Judd Blackwater, Colton Yellowhorn, Damon Gardner, Jace Isley. Did I say Jace is
Isley. Yeah, you said Jace
yeah?
Isley.
Dwayne Jean Jr., Wasey Rabbit, Zach Giroux, and just for shits and giggles, because this guy's hilarious when we hang around with him. It's always a good
Yeah.
time when we're when we hang around with this character, Mickey Ipana.
Yeah.
Mickey would totally be
Oh, yeah.
the life of this all-star team. Yeah. Okay, on D, I will put Brady Keeper, Chris McKay, Joe Hickett, Caden Butterfly, Troy Williams. And this is another one for just shits and giggles because he's a really good guy. Is Mr. Abe Jolly. Um, Abe played for Mistissini Trappers last year. I've known Abe for a long, long time. He's from back home and he's a good defenseman and he'd be a good guy to have on this all-star team. My two goalies would be Leland Irving and from OCN, Mariko. Miracle?
I
Rosie
always thought it was Miracle, but
Miracle?
yeah.
Man, we butcher names, man.
I don't.
Um, Mariko, what did you call him? Mariko?
Miracle for me.
Miracle? Oh
Yeah.
man. Yeah, he played awesome for OCN last year
Yeah.
as like an underage kid. He pretty much guided OCN to the top four as a
Yeah.
17-year-old kid. So yeah, this would be a pretty good good 3-on-3 game.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting. It'd be cool if there was time for like to have an all-star game at a tournament like at the Freddy.
Mhm.
I mean, if it
I still like
was
my events.
huh?
I still like my events.
Yeah, I could see a lot of these guys doing what you said for the top five. But yeah, it'd be cool. Like, how do you like? Too bad there wasn't enough time to work an all-star game into a tournament like the Freddy.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, it'd be really cool to see just like what a lot of players said. This NHL player said it's this past weekend as it's relaxing and it's low tempo and it's good to hang with the guys and stuff like that. So it'd be neat. But imagine if this team played in a tournament,
Oh, that'd be nice to see.
how stacked.
Yeah.
I wonder how much money, like, if you were okay, so Bryce, Troy, Keyshawn, Riley, Judd, Colton, Damon, Jace, Dwayne, Wasey, Mickey, Zach, Brady, Chris, Joe, Caden, Abe, Troy, Leland, and what's his name again? Miracle.
Miracle.
If like, how much money would you have to pay these guys? Like, if come on, guys, I want to put a team in attorney. Um, shit, man, you're looking you're
20
looking
times
at
4 is
you're
it's
looking at probably like 50 grand.
80 grand.
Then top, you got to pay for their travel, their meals, and their hotel.
100
It's probably,
G's.
yeah, it's probably got around 100 G's.
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone in their right man would ever pay for a team like that.
Holy Moses.
If I won Lotto Max, when I win Lotto Max, maybe I'll do that.
So tomorrow?
Yeah, or tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it would have to be next month because I think it takes about a month to get your money.
Does it really?
Yeah.
I thought it
Like
was just like go down to Toronto or and just pick up your check.
no, it
No,
takes a little bit.
I don't even know the
There's
procedure.
there's a lot of security procedure that they follow. Like they verify you, they verify where it's bought. Like that's pretty accurate what they do, and then it's a waiting period, I think.
Damn, really? I
I
didn't know
know.
that.
So, but I'm sure if you any bank or financial advisor like the Investors Group or Herabic from Myers Norris Penny, I'm sure they give you some money in good faith. Like
Yeah.
they'd probably slide you half a mil. Cause
Damn,
cause
Robbie's
cause
rich.
cause they got money. Those institutions they got money
But I
for
wonder,
that.
is like, okay, here's half a mil, but you gotta pay us back $1 million in interest.
I would.
You think that interest rate would be high?
I
Probably,
think
right?
they'd probably loan it to you at 30%.
Oh, yeah,
But
that's
you know what? You get 50 million. I'm sure that's you won't even you'll make that in 6 months in your interest in your savings account.
yeah, that is insane. But yeah, what is the most talking about money and paying players? Like, what is the most like if a tournament's $20,000, how much do you spend to
To
buy
win.
a winning team?
Ooh.
Would you spend 20,000 and break even? Like, no, you don't even break even. You lose
No,
money because you
you
pay the players after you win.
yeah, you do.
You give away most of that winnings. So either way, you're in the hole.
When Naffin was I want to say 97, 98. I think Wapistan from or Wapistan, however they pronounced. If they were to beat the Paw in the final, they were doing the math that it cost them 15,000 it cost them 20,000 to win 15,000.
I play for a team like that. They went all in and they spent like 20 G's and
Yeah.
we won like 10.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, they gave us hats and jackets, so they
Oh.
spent lots. I freaking lost my jacket at a bar in Thunder Bay too. Is all. But anyways, yeah, like
Yeah.
a lot of teams spend big bucks. Like
Yep.
we were talking about to one manager whose team goes to the Freddy, and they mentioned that they pay pro players like Bryce Gervais. Oops. Uh, okay, I'll just stop from there. No. Okay, we'll just use Bryce as an
Well, yeah.
example. Bryce
Yeah.
Gervais. Uh, they pay players that AHL, NHL rate
Oh.
of 5 grand. Then it goes down to like East Coast players, major junior players, 2 to 3 grand, like Division 1 players, U Sports, then they go down. So
Hmm.
like junior players, like major junior players, college players can get like 2 to 3 grand. Then like your higher end players get like lots. So you can spend lots of money.
If the athletes were to accept it, we're not saying the NCAA, you know, they don't accept the money.
Oh yeah, we weren't saying names. So yeah. So I heard about,
So
I don't know, just screwed.
once we get there, there's no players on the every team.
No
Yeah.
Division 1 players.
No.
This is just banned off as gossip, so it's
Yeah.
not even true. So, but yeah, it's a money
Yeah.
game now, right? Like you pay big bucks for you pay for what you get, I guess you could
Yeah.
say, right? If you want a player like Bryce Gervais who's played in AHL and he's really good, but like yeah, you're gonna pay him the big bucks. So I don't know why I use Bryce as an example. So
I do because there's top of the list. First name. It's a
yeah,
psychological memory thing. You
yeah.
usually see it was the top name come to your mind.
Okay. Another thing I want to talk about is parents of and minor hockey. I just want parents have to be careful how they come off on social media. I know parents are proud of their kids when their kid scores goals and they have a good game, but parents got to be careful that they're not overstepping the boundary line to where you're starting to be a pain in the ass to scouts, coaches, and scouts from like the junior level, Division 1, and pro scouts. And like parents have to freaking relax. I know there's
Yeah.
some parents out there whose kids are in U7, U9, U12 who are just, oh, my kid scored 20 goals this weekend. It's like, who cares? U7, U9s, they don't even keep score. If they don't keep score, why are you so damn worried about their goals? It drives me crazy. And I know some agents in the past who came up to me and would ask me my 2 cents, my opinion on parents who are too involved into their kids' hockey. Like they're always they're almost like an agent, not like an agent, but a pain in the ass, I'll just say, to the agency, and they'll ask me, "Hey, Trev, what do you think of this family? And what do you think of these parents?" And I think parents have to relax because when agents like these agencies are coming up to me and asking me about who's like how these parents are, what kind of family they're, parents have to relax.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
if you're U7, U9, U12, relax. There's no scouts in the stands. No one's gonna really take notes and say, "Oh, this kid scored 20 goals because their parents said so." I've been seeing things on social media and it kind of rubs me the wrong way because I saw parents in the past that ruined their kids' hockey career because they were always gloating, they were bragging about their kids, and it just burnt out their kid to the point where they're not even playing hockey no more. I coached a kid, unreal kid in Adam hockey, which is U11 or U12, whatever it is, Adam hockey. This kid was the best kid in the league, and his dad kept on saying, "Oh, my kid's so good," always promoting his stats on
Oh.
social media and just really pushing his kid to the point where by Bantam, this kid was just burnt out and he didn't want to play no more and he quit. And the kid
Yep.
doesn't even skate no more, but this kid was probably the best kid in Kenora in Adam hockey. Um, but see, like it's just an example of how
Yeah,
parents ruin it for kids. And I'm seeing it again with some families. And I think I don't know how to say it. Like I want to say something to the parents, but how do you say it? Like
you
how do you
can't.
tell a parent just relax?
Yeah.
I mean,
Do you remember Bob McKenzie?
from TSN?
Yeah.
Yeah.
book called Hockey Dad: True Confessions of a Crazy Hockey Parent, and he admitted that he was a bad hockey parent. Like he said, he didn't quote it, but I remember watching him on the interviews. He said, "I think my kids must have hated me in the stands because I forced them to play hockey. I forced them to do this." And at a certain age, I would give them a choice. But should a parent force you to skate till you're 18? Should they force you? Should they
Yeah,
force you? Should they force you? Like, come on, man. It's no fun. And then someone's gonna just walk away, and it's
exactly.
crazy.
Um, you're right, and parents yell in the stands. It's minor hockey.
Yeah.
Like the, most of the time they can't hear you. And if you're so worried about coaching from the stands, volunteer next
Yep.
year in minor hockey because they're always looking for coaches.
Yep.
Go on the ice and coach your kid.
Or
Coach all these kids.
better yet, get a repping uniform. See how
Yeah,
tough it is.
I'm really annoyed this year with some hockey parents. Is just they have to relax, let their kids have fun. There's no scouts in the stands. You're just then because if you continue the way you are right now, you are turning your kid off. You're going to turn off scouts. You're going to turn off coaches and agents and family advisors by the time they're 15, 16 years old. They're not going to go nowhere. Because I talked to scouts and different coaches and different like junior leagues, stuff like that. And they say they wouldn't pick players up because the way their parents act. And that's a big thing. So parents just freaking relax. Let your kids have fun. If they make double A, triple A, that's good. But if they're playing house league, single A, just let them have fun.
Yeah.
They're in it for the love of the game and just hang out with their friends, their buddies. And it's because it's just, what is it, February? I'm already annoyed. And I just want to comment on that and these parents sometimes. But I know they're going to be butthurt and offended. So, but just parents relax, let your kids have fun. So that's my 2 cents on parents and minor hockey for this week because I know I'll probably bitch and rant about it in a couple more weeks. So um yeah, just let your kids have fun. That's the most important thing. So now I'm all
You're all rant.
relaxed,
Yeah,
ranted
okay.
out.
That's a term, by the
Woosa.
way.
Huh?
That's a term, by the way, from now on. We're gonna enter
Ranted
it in
out?
Wikipedia. Yeah.
Is it?
Whew.
I
We're
did.
all ranted out.
So I think we should that's end the show on a very positive note. That was a
Oh.
very positive ting, like one of those
But
or one of
no.
those bells that when you're meditating, ting,
Yeah.
ting.
Someone carrying the incense around
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe we gotta light some up while we do the show.
Yeah, yeah. That'd be
Uh
nice.
you're one with the universe, Bush. You can tell by your screen. For those who listen to us on the podcast, we're on Apple, Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, and Amazon Music. And for those, we're also on YouTube. So if you want to watch Bush and me talk in person, we're on YouTube. So don't forget to like us,
And
subscribe,
subscribe.
and turn
Share.
the notification, whatever. Uh yeah. If anyone has anything that you want us to discuss, if you want us to give a shout out to anyone, have it be a birthday, anniversary, or divorce or anything, shoot us a message and we'll promote the shit right out of it. Anything else before we skedaddle for this week?
No.
And if anyone wants like a certain player to come on the show and as a guest, shoot us a message. We'll interview anyone if they love Rez hockey, they love playing Rez tourneys and have some good stories and love to laugh with us. Let us know, and if you want to come on the show, shoot us a message and
Oh.
we'll make it happen. So People are asking about merch. What should we do with merch? Should we?
I don't know. Should we get some for the Freddy?
Yeah, we'll get some by May.
Yeah, definitely.
But people are asking me when we're getting stuff. So maybe we should think about ordering stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's another time and date for discuss that shit. All right. Thanks for joining us this week, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.